Family, friends, and fellow Toastmasters. This is my second speech in the Innovative Planners Pathway. I originally did this for my club, the WPTM Communicators. I hope you enjoy it as much as they did when I presented it to them. While researching for an interesting topic about St. John, I came across an old friend. I have not thought of this friend in quite some time. It's sad how our memories begin to fade like old maritime fishing villages. So today, I would like to tell you a story, along with learning a little bit of history as well. My friend, he sits at a rocky bluff at 45 Whipple Street in St. John. He is one of three very old sentinels that stands proud above St. John, ever keeping a vigilant eye out for invaders. He began his shift in 1815. Carleton, that's his name, is a masonry construction. He's 30 feet in diameter and 50 feet tall, and he proudly sits 68.5 meters above sea level. Sitting way up there, he has seen many things. I'm sure this story would be one of them. As a child, I didn't live too far from Carleton. And growing up around such a cool place, you take it for granted of the history that surrounds you. I remember playing soldiers in and around Carleton. And as we would ascend the mountain, we would magically be transformed into period soldiers with my trusty gun and my makeshift ammo bag and my childhood friend Dave Dudley tailing up behind me. We would try to ascend the mountain without getting shot. Most times we would make it. There was a few times we didn't. When finally obtaining our objective, inside my stone friend were such wonders our young eyes could not comprehend. Coming in the main door with our trusty guns ready, our noses were consumed with old wool uniforms. That musky scent of aging leather and the earthy smells of old cotton mattresses that were common during that period. After entering, we found ourselves in the main living barracks, made up to look like the barracks of the soldiers that lived there during the 1860s. With eyes wide, we would hear stories of the soldiers that lived there at that time. While surveying our mighty bounty, we came across our two prized possessions. They were two 32-pounder guns that sat proudly on top of Carleton. Along with the two cannons, there was three other smaller cannons that lived right alongside the soldiers in the barracks. And they had their little stack of cannonballs beside them. While sitting around the warm, open hearth fireplace, our soldiers would entertain us with stories of Carleton and what he became over the next 50 years. Some of my favorite ones was as a prisoner of war camp during World War I. And at the turn of the century, due to the increased population of the middle class, he became a tourist attraction. And this was because they could afford to travel short distances around their community. And then finally, with great honors in 1930, he became a National Historical Site. Along with their stories, our prisoners of war would take us on guided tours. And my favorite spot was in the lower part. And as we would come down the old oak wooden stairs along the base of Carleton were square holes. And these we found out were rifle ports. And surprisingly, they had a very good line of sight considering their size. They weren't much bigger than your standard DVD case of today. Not long after defending ourselves from the invasion of the Fenians, would we hear a deafening roar of air sirens and people hollering all around us, invaders on land and sea, invaders on land and sea, running full tilt up the narrow concrete stairs to the top of Carleton. We would magically be changed into coastal World War II brigade officers. And all around us, it was 1943 and St. John had become a city on guard. Carleton had grown another 20 feet. He's now supporting a dapper new 2-story observation, communication, and firing command facility. And until 1945 and the end of the war, Carleton remained the heart of St. John's defenses. My friend Carleton was a British fortification called a Martello Tower. This type of fortification was round and had the same diameter as it did tall. Martellos were built in great numbers by both the British and Army Navy across its vast empire, beginning in the late 1700s to the 1820s. St. John's Martello Tower was built during the War of 1812 to help protect the city from a possible invasion from the United States through the state of Maine, which neighbors New Brunswick. When completed, Carleton and his brothers and sisters quickly grew to be obsolete due to the fast-paced change in military technology. While preparing this speech on Carleton Martello Tower, it's brought up a lot of different emotions for me, mostly just how homesick I am for a more simpler time in my old hometown. With another day complete, my friend David and I would make our way down to the hill, and at the bottom we would stop and crisply salute Carleton for a job well done in protecting the greatest little city in the East and giving us some great memories to look back on. Salute. Thank you.